Welcome back again. BC Poppas podcast episode. I don't know what. We don't know what we're publishing in what order, but we're just trying to get out as many of these episodes as we can. John here with
Jojo, same.
the same again. It hasn't changed. We've been having fun doing this podcast. We've had different guests. We've had guys like our friend Doug Doris, who's also a BC Papa here in Bacolod City. We've had Coach Don Villasin, our other Coach Chester. A lot of coaches. We had Coach Shar on the other day. But this is going to be a cool podcast today because Jojo and I are going to be talking about one of our passion projects that we're involved in called the Nothing to Lose Foundation, or N2L. So, yeah, man, hopefully you guys will enjoy this one and kind of learn more about some of the stuff that we really love to do and how we like to give back and how we get inspired. So, Jojo, what's going on, man?
Yeah, and still doing same. So, like every day is like an adventure. Right? So here in Bacolod, it's pretty laid back. So, like every day is like a.
So you're in an adventurous season right now. Yourself, aside from, coaching at BC Marshall and coaching at 6100. Right now, you're also working with the Verlani Foundation here in the city. Yeah. So I don't know. Can you tell us more about what it is you do over there in partnership with Verlani?
So, like the Verlani Foundation is they're working with kids with like from the streets. So I don't know the proper terminology of the kids that they serve, but most of the kids are like from the streets. They don't have a home. Some are like they don't have parents and stuff, so they live on the streets. And like they open up a center so these guys can like we offer like services like education, health, and then like social work. So most of the things that they do is they let these kids have a chance to like study or like be taken if they're sick, getting like medical care, so stuff like that. And the most basic like thing that they do is, I think it's pretty cool that they open a center so these kids can have like a safe place during the day. Like they can wash their clothes, they can take a bath, like clean water. They can eat there, they can cook there. So, and sometimes they sleep, but it's just that they can't stay overnight. So, but that place is like a safe haven for them during the day. So they can bring their some kids. They have like little children with them. So it's pretty helpful. So for me, working over there in partnership with the N2L, obviously. So like I like the the core thing that we do is try to like get these kids like integrated back to the like society. So getting them getting the self-esteem up, getting their confidence up, getting like the basics. Like some of these kids don't even know like when they were born or like birth certificates or anything. So we can like help provide that. So that's.
So if you're here in Bacolod, like for those people who are listening who don't live here, if we go around town, you're gonna see pockets of places like near fast food restaurants or near the plaza or things like that where youth who live on the streets gather.
Yeah.
And so these guys are out there like just asking for money or
some they do they back up cars and then ask for money, and most of the kids like they're on like drugs.
Right.
So they're I don't know what it's called, but here it's rugby. It's like a solvent. It's like a glue. So they sniff that, and then like if I ask, I go to the place that they hang out. So I go there, like talk to them, get to know them, and then try like slowly be like I don't know, like a big brother or a father figure to them. Like just like let them like I wanna give them a chance to change their perspective a little bit. To hey, there's another like world out there because these guys most of the time like they think that that's the whole world. That's the world that they like revolve around. It's just that's it. There's no like they don't have a chance to see
Think ahead
yeah
or future
yeah.
goals or
So I kind of like giving them a little bit of like that perspective, and then like at the same time I wanna like it's like I wanna learn like how these guys live, how these guys think, how these guys so I can be more like prepared to or I mean more educated to like help them like so I want to learn like what are their needs and stuff like that so getting to know them building that relationship is like because I just started so like probably I don't know like 3 months ago so for me it's like all learning experience like it's sometimes it's overwhelming sometimes fun sometimes it's like down but like at the end it's just I can see like these guys are just kids still so I wanna like this is my chance to I don't know like give them a little perspective so maybe in the future when they get older or something like that give them a chance to be like normal.
with these kids who are out there staying on the street that you guys serve in the program are what would you say I mean I guess you can't speak for everyone else but like before you did this like what was just the if you can give like an honest reaction or like what was your opinion of these guys when you would see them on the street before you started working with them?
Before starting work in like before I would like because I see them all the time like I see the kids in the streets see like walking around asking for money asking for something right so before I would at first I would like I would give like a little bit or give money or sometimes I don't but like in my eyes like these kids are like at first it was maybe they're part of a gang or somebody's like
Syndicate
yes or something like that so it's like my ignorant like thinking of like maybe they're like it's a ploy or something but when I started working there started like talking getting to know these kids they're just normal kids just it's just sad that like they end up like some are like how do you call it they no parents they were abandoned or some they just run away from home and then they don't know how to come back or they don't have enough money to go back to where they came from and then just some are just like living in the streets so but now that I get to know them it's there's a different world so I kind of like understand like there's a dynamic to what they do so they what they do is that's why they work in groups they have a lot of friends with them so what they do is they pool their money they they chip in and then they cook or I don't know they buy food and then they eat together it's like a family like a little community that they do so and plus it's I'm guessing it's just more safer for them
to be together
to be together and then they live in the streets so like all weather so sometimes it's raining or it's too hot it's just out there so like when like last 2 weeks ago 3 weeks ago we had like a storm I was thinking man those guys how would they be like sleeping
so like when you're at home sometimes when some type of storm or some kind of things out that you think about man what are these guys doing
so I'm in my house I'm in my room so like my kids are like scared there's like wind and stuff but I'm thinking what are those kids probably feeling right now like I'm kind of like I'm like really concerned of like how did they survive and like and then been doing it for a long time so some of the guys been doing it for a long time
they've lived there for maybe half their life
so it's really interesting that like there's not a lot of I guess there's people who want to help, but like for me, it's not enough because there's a lot of kids out the streets, and like for my like because I go there every day. There's not a lot of like I don't know government agencies or even NGOs who
Care
like,
about
care
that.
about that. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but it's I want to like open up like this to the people that hey, these guys are kids still, no matter what they do, what they like or their situation is, they're just kids still. So
So it's interesting because what was it, about 2015,
yeah,
where we started working together. Like you started coming on N2L
yeah,
stuff.
that's yeah,
We started the gym in the kids classes, and I mean basically a lot of the last 3 years has been working with and coaching kids.
yeah.
But these are either, I mean, not kids from the street.
No, no.
These are kids whose parents or guardians, some pay us to teach them
Yeah.
these things that we're passionate about.
Yeah.
Working with the foundation, we work with actual real athletes who
Yeah.
are pursuing like their athletic goals and like college scholars and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So now you're working with basically those same kind of kids, same age group of
Yeah.
kids, but it's like a totally different world. Like, what was the difference from experiencing coaching in one setting to now these last 3 months, basically connecting, building relationships with kids, but from this background that you're talking about? What was the difference that you saw?
It's like first couple of days, but we both of us volunteered for long, not long, but I mean for quite a while before I kind of like did it for like part time. I like did it.
Made him more of a commitment to
Yeah,
it.
so so but I was getting a feel of like what these guys are, but with the moment I like did the commitment of like doing it every day or like most of my spare time I just go there, so it's like overwhelming to me. Like the difference is like this coaching kids who are self-motivated and then wanna get better or just they need a little push. That's it. So
Yeah.
all I need to do is just give them some direction and they will just follow through.
Right.
But these kids that are working now, I'm working with now, it's like babysitting more, like more of a like it's like watching my it's like taking care of my little kid. He's like 5 years old. So it's keep reminding. I'm like a more of a like a dad, like a,
Right.
or
Rather than a coach.
yeah, rather than a coach or a brother rather than a
Right.
coach. So it's more it's like it's different, but at the same time, I get the chance to experience like dealing with kids that are like it's super difficult. So
Right.
like I get a chance to like experience that or like how do you say it, like immerse myself like to like how can I manage, how can I get my message across with these kids who doesn't like really like necessarily have the motivation to receive it.
Right. Right.
So I gotta make yeah.
So it's like more challenging.
Yeah.
But yet, so within that context of these two different types of challenges, like is one more rewarding than the other, or is it like one's more like heavier than the other? I don't know. Like what's
I think this is why I do it. Like it's rewarding to me to see like a kid, like like get to the potential that he like I perceive him to get to. So
Right.
it's like they need a little help. So that's the if I get them to a certain goal that I see from him, like I feel like oh I did something. It's like rewarding to me. Like I feel happy. I feel like fulfilled if I help a kid. Like for example, like in jiu-jitsu or something, he does an armbar. Like it's so like to me, I showed him that.
And you see the change in his attitude that he was able.
Yeah. So because I know he's like I see that he has the potential to be that kid. I just help him along.
So one of the things that I know we also talk about is you as a coach, you see a potential in a young person, and then you try to help them bring it out, and then they see their potential. Right?
Yes.
So like, I mean, it's the same value, but in a different platform.
Yeah.
So what are the kind of things that, let's say, working with the kids from the street, that kind of is like that armbar? Are there things that you've experienced where like, hey, they're starting to see their potential. Hey, they were able to do something they set out to do. Is there that yet, or is there?
Right now, like 3 months in, I don't know. I'm just finding my way still, but I know that I'm getting through a little by little because before, now that I see them, it's just they know me as like, hey, that's coach, or hey, that's. They know me if they see me, they were happy that they can like, oh, he's gonna like come like play with us, or so we do like basketball stuff, or I just talk to them most of the time, but like the way I kind of the progress, it's a little difficult to gauge still, but because it's just a short time. So, but I can see like if I say, hey, we're gonna do this or do some kind of activity, some of the kids will do it, some of the kids won't. But the kids who did it, it's just a big win to me. Like, you know what I mean?
Totally. I mean, like there's different, I guess, wins and measurements in different areas, but because like what might seem like a small thing, well, when you come from zero, that's like that's a breakthrough, you know. But will we keep breaking through? We don't know, but at least you've seen that breakthrough. So like it's interesting because so if you look at what you're doing right now and what we do, we're working with kids from ages 4 to 16. Same thing you're doing with kids on the street. Ages 4 through 16, right? And even older. Right? But in the gym, these guys are voluntarily there. Like, and they're there for one single purpose, to learn jiu-jitsu, have fun with their friends, you know, in that thing. And so we try to create this atmosphere where this is a happy place. This is a place where you can be yourself.
And then you challenge a little bit, but but they like it. They're
happy to be there.
Happy,
we want that. When they see us, we want them, you know, we're excited. We want them to be happy. You know, then we also work with like high school and college scholars.
In N2L, in Romblon,
So these guys we are working with have been selected. They've elected themselves to pursue the scholarship program as they've chosen to see themselves as leaders and to participate in the things that will move along this. So they've chosen that, you know, and it's for a purpose as well. You know, when we run the camps, they've been chosen and selected to come to these all-star camps, and they choose themselves to come, and when they do that, they know they come to work hard. They know they come to challenge themselves, and so these are different contexts. And now you have the same motivation on wanting to see a young person achieve their potential, but man, working with kids from the street. I mean, that's a whole different thing than a college kid.
That's why.
You know.
That's why when the first started, it was like I'm in over like over my head or something. It's so overwhelming, but like it's the most difficult thing that I've ever done. Like in like coaching or like even connecting. So it's super like difficult. Some of the kids, like most of the time they're on drugs. So one day you're like buddy. Next day, you feel like they don't know you. You forget.
Wow.
So like, and then all the high that you feel next day.
Wow.
So but the thing that I kind of like be like happy about it is that just keep keep telling them, hey, you're a good kid, or
Yeah.
you can do great things. You can do so. Just keep telling them all
Yeah.
of those positive things, like, because when I first started, you always like tell me, hey, you're a good with kids, you're a good coach. I didn't see myself that. I didn't see like, oh, I didn't even imagine myself like teaching or even speaking in front of a lot of people, because I don't know, I have a I have a I'm shy like speaking in front of a lot of people. But now it's like more, it's like doing this podcast, man.
Right.
I never imagined myself sitting in front of like a lot of people, or even talking to
Right.
people that I don't know. But it's, you always like keep telling me that, and then every time I do it, just reinforcing.
Right.
So I hear a lot. I hear it from you. I hear it from the way you tell the other kids, in like scholars in the N2L. So the more you tell them, hey, you can achieve like a great thing. So then eventually they're gonna believe it, and then they're gonna follow through. So that's why I do it with these kids. It doesn't matter to me now that it's they probably didn't get my message across right now, but I don't know, man.
Well,
just keep telling it.
There's a difference in, what we're doing. You and I both. We're not just like blowing smoke up people.
Yeah.
We're actually see something
Yeah.
and believe it. But the reality is, a lot of times people see something, but they don't speak it out to someone.
Yeah.
So like if you don't speak it out to these young people, they still have to take a chance to believe it.
Yeah.
But if no one's saying it to them and they can't see it for whatever their situation
Yeah.
is, you haven't presented them with a chance to take the risk to
Yeah.
actually believe that.
Or
So-
perspective sometimes. They just have changed a little bit, that when they see it, it's hey, there's another, like people,
Right.
a guy just believes in me.
Right.
And then the more he
Yeah.
believes it, he's just gonna.
I can see how that would be heavy sometimes, when it's like you have these 2-3 other platforms where you kind of get, I don't know if you would say fruit faster or results
Success,
faster,
yeah,
or
sometimes, yeah.
at least a feeling,
Yeah.
but like you said, you're in a situation now, the reality of the culture of those guys you're working with is there's going to be a lot of up and down.
Yeah.
And if you don't, I think that's one great thing why I think you have to have different platforms with the same motivation, because one of these, they're not all going to be high all the time, and it's also a challenge. It's like when we teach kids jiu-jitsu, it's one thing to be like, okay, we're teaching you some drills. Okay, now we got sparring. Well, now we got competition. Or now you got your weight group and age. And then now you got, so like it's another way to, you're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But it's another level of challenge to kind of bring the more thing out of you.
Yeah.
And I feel like from a coaching standpoint and a mentoring standpoint and learning to do that, I don't want to stay in just one thing, because I've started to take the risk to believe that I can make more of an impact. I can still make an impact, not just in one thing.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to just be a JV basketball coach. I can spend 10 years learning a new sport I never did, or a new art, and then trying to share it with others.
Yeah.
Like you have to take a chance that even if I don't know that much, I can still, if I have the right heart, the right motivation, I'll make a difference somehow. And just, I'm not telling people I know everything or have all the answers, but I'm willing to, like you said, try to connect, to have a chance to see goodness and potential in someone else.
Yeah.
Because like before, like you said, you already had a judgment on what you thought these kids are.
Yeah, I already have a set thing.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not wrong. You had no interaction with
Yeah.
them, but now you have interaction, trying to make connection. Now you see something that others don't see. You go to McDonald's and you see kids outside. You see a certain thing.
Yeah.
Other people go to McDonald's. They see a certain thing
Yeah.
that's different than what you see. And it's what you see now is different than what you saw before.
Yeah.
And I think that that's such a valuable thing, because we also get to, when you start believing something about yourself, you start believing about others.
Yes.
When you see you're sharing this thing of reaching your potential with these young kids because you also experienced that, hey, I took a chance and now I'm in a different place that just not even like physically, but like mentally believing about myself something different. You know?
So it's so valuable to me that like I experienced. I just wanna like I have a feeling of I wanna share it because I want people to feel the same way I felt, right?
Yeah.
So I wanna like, hey man, these guys are like at first was just these guys are just a little push. I gotta like it's so hard, but it's just like I just believe that like what not today, but like someday they're gonna remember. They're gonna remember. Hey, like one guy just believed in me.
Yeah.
Maybe that's gonna be.
It might be enough.
Yeah, it might be enough. So like I it's just like I'm so happy, and then it taught me like a lot of things that I never like thought I would learn. Like feeling thankful every day, man. If I'm in a top spot like in my own personal life, like I just think like how about those guys?
Right.
They're way if I feel like something I'm comfortable or something like that, I always like kind of like, hey, I'm doing good still.
Like a lot better than other
other
people.
Yeah, some other people. So it's just I don't like carry a lot of like stress or something, or I like carry a lot of baggage.
That's interesting.
Because I felt like what am I complaining about?
Right.
What am I like? I'm complaining about not my internet's not working.
Right.
I get crazy sometimes, but I do that.
Sure.
But the moment
See, I think what I hear when you say that is, hey, this is for yourself. You're not judging other people who complain about their internet, but like this experience has led you that like, hey, when I complain about something or see my reality of my situation, it's real, but at the same time, you also have another perspective because you see it could be a whole lot different and I'd rather have this than what some other guys dealing with. But I think everyone can do that because there's always someone else that you could help and then that would have it, I don't know if the word is harder than you or what, but that's struggling in a way that you're not. So I feel like some people wouldn't want to do what you do or help others because they think, well, what can I do? Yeah. Right? Exactly. And we all did at some point, right? We said,
that's my mentality before. Like I don't have enough for myself. How am I gonna help like other people? But like you said it to me like so many times. It's the more you just. This is one thing also that like kind of it's like part of the learning experience that I'm experiencing right now. It's no matter how down I am, there's always people who's gonna help me. So, like everything that a lot of our, like you help me a lot. Some of our friends like help me a lot. So the more help I get, it's like I'm so happy that like I'm down now. Like my friends will help me. I want to be able to do that to somebody else. I want to be like the guy who helps other people because I'm really thankful that hey, they're helping me. So I'm gonna give it back by like helping other people as well.
I think that is a really big key. I think. I mean, of course, I'm not trying to preach or nothing, but like, I think we have something to give.
Yeah.
No matter what you think, you have something to give. You are valuable and you have something to give. And there's always someone who can use what you have to give. Whether that's an encouraging word, whether that's just a listening ear. Like, you can do that. Yeah. You can you can sit down with someone and hear them. Like that's a big thing that we do with these kids. Because kids in general, not rich or poor, whatever, nobody wants to listen to them.
Oh, you're just a kid.
You're just a kid. You don't know nothing. Or like, don't ask that question. I mean, teachers in school do that. right? Like, hey, they have a question that some kid has. It happens all the time in jiu-jitsu, right? You're like, who has a question? And they come up with some question that's not jiu-jitsu. And you can get like, mad about it or whatever, or you can be like, you can say, hey, ask that later. Or you could just be like, all right, well, lay it on me, man.
Yeah,
what are you talking about here?
Yeah,
what's on your mind? Why are you asking that question? And let me try to answer it for you.
Yeah, because these kids, like that, I think that's why they like us so much, because we kind of like, when we're like talking, especially like the kids who are like on the streets or something, because when we talk to them, it's like you're a person, and
you're treating them as a person.
Yeah, like
you have
like
an opinion.
Like, your words matter, your opinions matter.
There's so many ways that we've made in our society to look down on each other.
Yeah.
Like, you're a kid, don't need to pay attention to what you're thinking right now. You're a kid on the street. Or like, you're a poor kid. Or like, you're not from where I'm from. Or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to judge you, like people out there, if they're doing that. But I'm just saying, realize like how many times we've separated ourselves from other people and not valued other people because they're like different from us or something like that. And so, I mean, this is, essentially what you do, and you're talking about making a connection. I really love what, the Verlani is doing in the program you're working with there. I mean, again, so what Verlani does is they have a center, the Open Day Center, Barangay 18.
Yeah, Barangay 18.
And
those guys are heroes, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, these guys, I mean, you're one of those guys, man.
Oh.
Like, it's amazing. If you get a chance to go there, if you guys are listening and you're living in Bacolod, man, I would encourage you to support this place and just see.
Yeah.
And these guys provide a place for families living on the street to wash their clothes, a place where they can cook, a place basics that things I personally myself take for granted a lot. And they do that, and for young or for old, if you didn't graduate high school, they have a accredited ALS program that people can avail there and get and move forward in their education. They have a social worker on staff there that people who are living on the street can also avail the provincial like health benefits and things like that. And I mean, these guys have, I mean, hearts of gold, but it's really amazing. It's humbling to go there, and I would say if anybody can go over there to the Open Day Center, I mean, if you want to reach us at BC Poppas, we can connect you with them, and N2L. But I want to talk really quickly about the program that we started in partnership with Verlani and the Social Development Center here. We started doing last year already. It's been over a year. We started doing basketball class and interacting with, I guess the common term is children in conflict with the law. These are I didn't even know this place existed when I was living here in Bacolod for 10 years already.
Hey, me neither.
Your whole life.
I've lived there my whole life. So, I know a place, but I know of it, but I don't really know where it is.
Yeah. So this place is where if you're a minor who gets arrested or has a case against you, it's kind of like a detention center where you will await for your court date. And then whether you're sentenced after your court date, you have to wait for processing to go to your place where you'll serve a sentence or things like that. And while Joe, you said that when you see these kids that you work with on the streets, like, hey, they're still kids. Yeah. And it's the same thing with these guys. I feel like these young men mostly that we work with there at the SDC, they've made some poor choices. Yeah. For whatever reason, but they're still kids. Yeah. And I remember for me, what happened was we just got finished with an N2L All-Star Camp in Romblon. And the N2L All-Star Camp works like this. In the province of Romblon, all year round, we scout the top 32 boys in high school enrolled who are the top players in basketball. and the top 32 girls who are enrolled in high school for volleyball.
This is the whole province.
The whole province of Romblon. And then we gather them in the town of Ajongan for each for 1 week for a 5-day camp. We honor them as all-stars. We support. We pay for their food, their uniforms. We house them. We do activities, leadership activities. But we also train really, really hard, and we push them to bring out the leadership in them. Really, it's a reward for your athletic skill and commitment, but it's also a place where we try to teach leadership skills and also identify scholars. Well, one of the things that we do is we also, when we have scholars, these scholars are the ones that run these camps. It's a chance for us to put them in these leadership positions to manage the camps, manage the players, the students, and they run these camps and help coach them as well.
How long has this been going on, right?
We just finished our 11th year. 11th year for basketball, 10 years for volleyball.
So you have like 10 years of
we've had probably
scholars.
Almost over 400 kids come through both the programs. Through this scholarship, we find through these camps, we select kids who have leadership ability, and we give them college scholarships. And we've graduated, I think, 27 kids through college. I mean, you're talking about from police officers to engineers to dentists. And currently now we have about 30 kids on scholarship. I think 10 high school and 20 plus.
So all of this, like scholarship programs you do, is like how do you support these kids? Just through
well, what we do is so people both in the Philippines and in the United States, we give them an opportunity to sponsor kids for their college career, so to speak. If you're a high school scholar, it's really for your grade 12 high school, and you're kind of a probationary scholar. If you complete that well, you move on to the college scholarship. And so people from all over the world really sponsor these kids to do that. Same thing for the camps. We get sponsors for these camps. It costs a good deal of output of finances to run these camps. But about a year ago, more than a year ago, we had just finished our 10th year in the basketball camp, and man, these kids did awesome, and it was so happy. I was on this high of doing this camp, and we ended up in the Social Development Center.
SDC.
We ended up at the SDC for with a mission team that I had been working with. I didn't really want to go. I had been there before. I tried to think of something to do there with N2L, and I just couldn't figure it out. I didn't think it was for me. But somehow, man, I believe in God, so I feel it was God. He connected me to a kid there that I just started talking to in the corner. And man, this kid was just interacting with me, and English, Tagalog, Ilonggo. We were doing everything we could to communicate with each other. And I just had this great feeling about this kid. And our MVP of the basketball camp in Romblon, his name was Lloyd. And this kid is amazing. He's an MVP as a leader. He's an MVP as a ball player. I just hope my kids could be like him someday, But Lloyd.
Yeah.
But when I was looking at this kid, and I don't want to say his name because there's legal ramifications with the kids who have cases and stuff. But I was looking at this young man. Let's call him Ron. So I'm thinking of this kid, Ron, and while I'm looking at him, he's interacting with me, I'm seeing the face of Lloyd.
Oh.
And I'm like, this guy's Lloyd.
Yeah.
Like the same potential that I see and get excited about when I see Lloyd.
You see it in him.
I see it in him. Right?
Damn.
And so we start talking more and more, right? And I'm just getting excited in my own heart about, man, maybe we can do something here. Like these kids, like, Sarah Verlani, she's a good friend, and she always says they're children who've made some really bad mistakes, and they're paying for them, but they're still children. Yeah. Right? They're children. These children are on the streets, but they're still children, right? So that's what she says a lot. That hit my heart, especially when I was talking to this guy and this young man. And so it turns out that I know, like I've heard, like, in the States, you have friends who like been incarcerated before, and they say like, hey, you never ask a guy what he did, or something like that. So I was like, hey, I'm not gonna ask him what he did, and he starts to tell me on his own. And this is crazy, man. And so this is reality. Okay, the reality is he starts telling me, he was accused of rape, and when he said that, man, everything in me that I think I have values about, I was like, dude. This is the worst thing, man.
You go like from
and then I mean, it could be like, hey, man, some guy with self-defense, you stabbed the guy or something like that. There's all kinds of rationale, so to speak, in your
mind.
head. He stole something, you was hungry or whatever. He beat somebody up, you got in a fight. And when he said that, I was just like, dude, come on, man. And I I believe in God, and I felt like God told me right at that time, said like, so what? All that thing you believed in your heart, because you now found that out, that's no longer true. This guy's no longer the potential to be something.
Now you're put in a position that you're you test.
Do I really believe that thing? Because I mean, we've all made really poor decisions at times, and of course. So in my mind, I was like, I don't condone it all. I don't know if he's innocent or if he's guilty, but my attitude was, you know what? No, he still does have that potential. And then I felt this thing that said in my heart, that was like, well, you know what? You could go on working with college students and it would be great. There's nothing wrong with that. Or you're calling yourself the Nothing to Lose Foundation, and nothing to lose is your motto. You could start seeing if you can make an impact with actual criminals. Now, I'm not even saying alleged, because some of those guys, they're guilty. And they admit it.
They're gonna tell you.
So who's gonna work with that guy? And I remember right after that, within like the next hour, I got back and I saw you at the gym, and I told you that story, and I was like, what do you think? Should we do something there? And immediately you were like, dude, let's do it.
The first time I went there with you, man, I was all in.
Right.
So because like when you see them, like I can see it. If you go there, some of the kids look like really hard. Like tattoos, they're rough. But half of the kids,
and not the nice rich guy tattoos.
But some of the kids, you can see them, like it's like hey, that's my neighbor's kid.
Right.
So it's like they're just in a tough situation that they're in. So like to me, like when I went there, I had that feeling that you said, like, hey, maybe I can do something. This is my chance. Like, because like I wanna, like it's sometimes it's all about like what it's kind of selfish sometimes.
Right.
I feel like I'm doing a lot of those things just to
feel good.
Or enrich myself.
Right.
Like,
Okay.
So I wanna be like able to make myself better. So let's say I'm coaching like kids class in jiu-jitsu, right? So I feel like, oh, maybe I'm a good coach. Maybe I can do better. So if I like go to different like sorry.
It's all right.
So if I go harder, if I go to how do you call this? Like challenge myself in a difficult situation, it's gonna make me better. Right. And I don't know, coaching and anything. Just excuse me. Okay. Go ahead, John.
No, I think that's a challenge that you find in service, that you really do want to serve others and make an impact, but you always find that it impacts you as well. It's an exchange.
Yeah, it's an exchange.
And so sometimes, though, I mean, you see this, and I don't like to judge people, but yeah, there's times when people just want to do something really quick to make themselves feel good. And I'm not judging that, but like what we're trying to do is fight that feeling and do something consistent that will give us a chance to like make a connection and an impact.
Yeah. So because like I think it's not I want to say dangerous to like lead these kids on sometimes,
Right.
because they're like obviously they're in a tough spot already.
Yeah.
So I don't want to like add to that, like, oh, give
Like
them
a false hope. Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy to like add to the. So I just want them to like have that, because obviously these guys they have their parents like left them, or like they have some bad stuff that happened to them. So if I add to that by giving them like false hope, so I'm doing myself. It's not like I just want them to have that consistent thing going on in their life. It's one thing that's consistent. Like so, it's not really a big deal to go there.
Yeah.
To me, it's hey man, like they're in there, they're waiting.
Yeah.
So I spend my like weekends or like a 1 day a week, an hour, 2 hours with them. It's a big thing.
Yeah.
So if I just keep doing that, they kind of we build that relationship with them, like get to know them, they get to know us.
Yeah.
So
it's funny because I love what you're doing over there, and I feel like that's really natural to you, and it's challenging, but it's like, I mean, obviously it's different than when you're with these kids every day, and like you say, there's the up and down.
Yeah.
So it's a different platform, but equally as valuable.
Yeah.
But I feel like when we went there, we brought basketball, because basketball for us always works, But we didn't do it like an all-star camp and try to teach these guys like man defense and all that stuff like that. We just said, let's organize a tournament.
yeah, because
let's
like,
play.
This podcast is supposed to be about N2L.
Yeah.
It's all about like, but like it's the same thing that like how did you start N2L? It's the same thing, right? You just went to Blonde.
You showed up. You showed up. And so, I mean, we try to, I think with the foundation, we work hard to just always stay true to ourselves.
Yeah.
And so if these fundamental things and values that we believe are correct, then they're going to work in every situation. Like if I come for connection, it's going to work in every situation. If I'm trying to be real and authentic, it's going to work in every situation. Until you prove me it didn't work, I'm going to stick with it. I'm just going to stick with being real, Yeah. So we'd show up, we played ball and helped them and just connected.
Yeah.
Our goal was to make friends.
Yeah, first. Just
that's it. Because we don't really know what their real needs are.
Yeah.
This is new to us. But if we can connect, let's see. So, man, we did that whole thing. They loved it, man. We did the three-point contest, the tournament. And then we never even told them we were N2L Foundation.
No, yeah.
Till the very end, the awardings, and we told them what our motivation is.
Why do you guys show up? Why do you guys like doing basketball
I
stuff?
love that, man, because we showed them the video of the camp, and they got to see what it looks like in Romblon and the training, the hard training we do. And we told them why we do it, because we believe those guys are leaders. And then we told them that that's how we see them, that you're not different than these all-stars, so to speak.
Yeah.
You're not different than these scholars. You're the same as these guys.
Yeah. And I was so happy, like some of the kids really, hey, I want to be there someday.
Right.
So it's like
and then the greatest thing too, then the next time we actually brought our scholars from Romblon to play against those guys, meet them, and then we put those scholars from Romblon in a pressure situation to go there to somewhere they've never been before. Kids who have a different life than they have, and to try to connect with them
and then talk.
And that worked out. And the thing is now we just came from there yesterday, and now what are we doing? Like what we always do at N2L, we're talking about dreams. We're talking about being leaders. We're talking about goals. And it went from just shooting a dumb rubber ball in a little hoop, and now we're here. And I'm not saying we've achieved some great things, but we do have connection and more than what we did before.
And then some of our friends even went with us.
See, that's the thing, is one thing we've always done, whether it was jiu-jitsu or anything, my thing is that I want to do things with my friends.
Yeah.
And I know because of the friends that I have, and I believe in them too, I know they have something to give.
Yeah.
And so, and our friends, because we have connection and relationship, they're like, yeah, I'll go. I want to go. And I mean, that's another thing that makes me love it so much, is just to see some of our other friends, come and do this, partner with us as well. And now they're having their own ideas of what they want to do.
That's pretty cool, man. That like you said, you always tell me, hey, this is the N2L Foundation is just a platform.
Mm-hmm.
You can change any way you like it. Like you can do it with basketball, you can do jiu-jitsu, you can do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same platform if you just follow, like I don't know, like do it what you're passionate about.
Right.
So like you always tell me that, and then like, hey man, now we're like slowly we're doing it. Like people or our friends are like getting those ideas. I want to do a different kind of thing. So,
well, I mean, that's the thing, is that I don't feel like, at the foundation. The foundation is so many things, and by this time, 13 years in, we got medical missions, we got, health initiatives. I mean, it's grown more than, it started with, basketball to make connection. But now we've connected to different kinds of leaders all over, doing all kinds of different things. We're getting into like tourism, and we're developing a property, there in Romblon. It's gonna be awesome, man.
Hey, man, if you guys get the chance to join, like, you know what happened to me, like when you like invite me to join one time, that's like when I saw, man, like you're doing something big.
And the funny, and like, see, the thing is, like, we know each other. You know me, man. It's not. We didn't set out to do something big. We're just like, man, I'm going to have fun. I'm going to go out there and do something and share this thing, and I'm going to have fun doing it. I'm going to go to some cool places, and I'm just going to try to be as real as I can with folks. And it just, it turns out, if you give yourself a chance, if you take a risk, to, I guess, put yourself out there.
Yeah.
It's like what we're doing here on the podcast. We listen to podcasts, and we're like, hey, let's do our own. But like, hey, there's like 10 people listening to it. I don't know. So it doesn't matter, man, because you have to position yourself by taking a risk or presenting some type of vulnerability. And this is what we do. We go to these places, you work with these kids, and there's a chance they're going to hate you. Yeah. There's a chance they're not going to like what you. They get out of here, man. You do-gooder or whatever it is, you know what I mean? But in same thing in like, jiu-jitsu and all these things, there's always a chance, but that's why we call ourselves nothing to lose. Because I'm going to fail. Yeah. I know that. Yeah. The only guys who don't fail are the guys who don't play the game.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
But if I'm not in a position where I'm vulnerable to failure, I'm not vulnerable to winning. Yeah. I'm not vulnerable to new experiences.
You're not taking the risk.
Yeah. It's like you try new food. If you don't try new food, you'll never get the new good food. But when you try a couple different foods, you're going to hate it, a few of them. That durian is horrible. No, I'm just kidding.
Like, for example, like talking in front of a lot of people. That's my biggest fear. I was like, and then like you just keep telling me, hey man, just risk.
Hey, right now you're talking in front of 20 people. No, I'm just kidding.
But they can't see me. That's good.
No, but I mean, I hear you.
It's like that's my little first step. Now I'm doing more and more. Like doing this.
So now, like, we're funny because here we always, at some point, you have to give someone a title or whatever. So, like, now, like, Jojo, you're the N2L Bacolod program director, whatever. We figured something like that right now. But you got ideas of what you want to do in the future and some hopes, or what are the type of things you want to do in the future?
In the future, like, this is like one of my, project that I'm like working on. I'm trying to build like because I'm passionate about jiu-jitsu, so I want to do the same kind of program, but using jiu-jitsu as a vehicle to like send our like message out. Like I want to like instill values and all those stuff, right? So I want to use jiu-jitsu. So the way I see it is like working with. So it's like I'm
like meshing it or melding it together.
From other like projects, so I'm kind of like meshing it. So like I want to do it with kids who can't like underprivileged kids, like for example, not like the street kids because they might like
choke each other
choke
out.
each other out or hurt somebody.
Well, there might be some from there who exhibit something you see in them.
Yeah, so that thing is possible, but I wanna make it how do I say, like
Accessible.
yeah, accessible, and then like for free. I wanna like, ask some of our friends to like help out, like I don't know, give them uniforms and stuff like that. So everything that's gonna help them. If they can't pay for gym fees, they can't buy uniforms. I will like provide that and stuff like that. So that's one way of trying to, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like we have, the good thing is about having these experiences that we've had over the years, and also with the foundation, is that there is somewhat of a model. It's first you start with something you're passionate about.
Yeah.
You discover a group that you want to serve.
Yeah.
And you share the message, and this is a vehicle to, like you said, teach leadership, still values, create connection, mentor, and give these young people a different environment of risk and pressure to really find and discover themselves. So, I mean, we've been talking about it for a long time, and I can't wait to see, what comes. We're getting closer and closer every day to that. We're getting new ideas, and I mean, it's, I'm excited about it, So, I think we're going to wrap it up with the N2L stuff, and this is just a quick glimpse, and we
didn't even talk about like.
No, that's all good. No, I think that we're every now and then we're gonna hit you with one of these podcasts to talk about what Nothing to Lose means to us, and some of the programs that we're doing that are close to our heart. It's just for us, it's all one thing. We don't change our values at the gym. We don't change our values on the podcast. We don't change our values in our families. We don't change it in the foundation, and whatever program it is. We just the podcast is actually even again example of us trying to take a risk to better ourselves and discover new things. So you'll be hearing more if you're listening, if you're a subscriber to the podcast, if you are following us. You're going to hear more of this about the foundation in the future and the programs we're doing. So again, if you want to, know more about the foundation, we're creating a new website, but we still have our old website up. It's N2L, the number 2, N2LFoundation.com. We're also find us on Facebook, Instagram, just at N2L Foundation. So, man, guys, thanks for listening. Joe, thanks for sharing your passion and the things that you're doing. And, wrapping it up. BC Poppas, out. If you want to follow BC Poppas Podcast on social media, we have a brand new Instagram account called BC Poppas. You can also follow BC Marshall and see what's happening in Bacolod City. Find out about where the good coffee spots are, where the good dessert spots are, and what we're doing to teach leadership through Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. The BC Poppas Podcast is also brought to you by the Nothing to Lose Foundation, inspiring our leaders of the next generation. If you'd like to volunteer with the Nothing to Lose Foundation and know more about what we're doing here in the Philippines and in the United States, look at our website at N2LFoundation.com. You can also find us on Facebook at N2L Foundation and Instagram at N2L Foundation.